Yo, what's good, CheckDown family? And we're back for another episode of the CheckDown brought to you live by 4133 Sports. Uh, Today, we have the Big Ten tier show. Obviously, man, we're going to talk about national title contenders, playoff hopefuls, big brand pressure, coaching pressure, and some of the quarterback questions that we have for all these teams. But before we get into that, Dre, your segment is up, man. Take us through the walkthrough.
I mean, the walkthrough we got. I sent you the list, right? It was Joe Burrow got restructured for sure. That was one. Joe Batonio retired. That's another thing that happened. You got the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken, saying that they want to reduce Christian McCaffrey's workload while he's saying no, I want to play just as much I've been playing. Um, you got the Brendan Sorsby thing, which I think we need to have a real conversation about. And outside of that, I mean, NFL players getting arrested again. Is that really a surprise to anybody? It's sad that it's still happening, but you can't change it, man. Mhm.
You also had the Christian Gonzalez situation with the Patriots, man, going on.
Oh yeah.
Should they jump
Now we
on?
can
Should
go
they
through
jump?
the questions if you want to.
Should they jump on
So,
the? Should they jump on? I mean, should they jump on that now, or I mean, should they wait it out? What do y'all feel about that? Like, well, first, J Mick, how do you feel? Obviously, you here, you a Patriots fan. How do you feel about Christian Gonzalez? Should y'all get that deal done now, or
I mean, the longer you wait, the more you're gonna have to pay him. He was at minicamp this week, so I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he was a full
You sound kind of
vacation.
nervous, Jamie.
I'm kind of driving right now, so I mean, it might not be the strongest signal. Um, why? Give me like a couple minutes. Like, why don't y'all chime in? Because I mean, in a couple minutes time, I should be in better service.
all right?
All right, bet. Now I agree with J Mick started kicking off saying it's better to play your players early, pay your players early than wait, because then you can get into a situation where you've waited, other guys have gotten bags, and guess what? Now that price has gone up for the player that you're trying to sign, especially if you're at the level that Gonzalez is at. So I think a deal will come forward with that. We'll see how long it takes, but he's going to get paid. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take them to negotiate what's going to be comfortable for both sides.
yeah, no, for sure, I agree. I think they'll get it done, but if you can get it done ahead of the market, you always want to do that. You always want to be ahead of the curve. You never want to be last to the party because when you're last to the party, you overpay. But the fact that they do have the young quarterback already that's going to come up for a contract here in a few years, and they do have this young talent, like they just got AJ Brown. I'm just saying, like you're gonna have to start paying guys here soon. So do they do it? I think so, but would you be surprised if there was a world where they moved on for the right price? I'm not saying just they're trying to move him, but if
Mhm.
somebody called and gave that sauce type offer, would you be surprised if he was moved?
No, not necessarily, especially like with the points you brought up, Dre. They're not really paying too many people on that team currently. You got like some money tied up with AJ Brown contract now and on the defensive side of the ball, specifically on the D line. So yeah, you got some money there, but you have a lot of young guys. Some of them are on second, third round contracts, which means their time to get paid is going to come up faster. And then May, you have 3 years left. You can negotiate his deal either in his fourth year, or you could pick up his fifth year option to extend them. But at that point, it's like, what money are you talking about? And you have also players that was in his class and the class after that, if they're performing well for the Patriots, they're gonna have to get paid. Like, so the point you bring up, Jay, if they're like, man, We get this Sauce deal, we can move him, we can get the capital. We probably not gonna get a player like a Gonzo in the draft, but shit, we can get a solid corner. Cool.
I think when you look at the whole like retrospect of what's going on, I don't know. Two first, I mean, it's obviously a steal, right? But it's a little hard, like when you like kind of implemented the pieces you have on that team to kind of move off of a guy like Gonzo. The Jets kind of in a different situation where they kind of didn't really need those type of players on the roster to compete. But coming off a Super Bowl run, two first just to me don't seem like enough for a guy like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm back. No way am I trading a top five corner. I mean, honestly, like in our corner room, the situation is like you got Carlton Davis, who was essentially on the last year of his deal. So we have to replace him next year. So nah, and plus like we have cap room. We got cap room this year and next year. And if we give him an extension, he won't be seeing, like we won't be seeing them cap numbers for 2, 3 years. So nah, like I'm not trading Gonzo. Like like it took us a long time to get a corner of his caliber, and to do it, we had to draft him at the top fifth. What it was the 16th pick overall, and he shouldn't even slid that far in the
Hmm.
first place. So no, like like we're not paying Drake May yet. Even when we extend Drake May, it's the same situation as Gonzo. You extend him, it's not gonna kick in for 2, 3 years. So nah, like I'm not I'm not trading him for like 2 first round picks. Like, he's an essential part of that defense. Especially with us not having a significant pass rusher like on the edge. Like, like our interior pressure is great, but like our edges, I ain't gonna say it's the worst in the league, but it's definitely below average. And so when you don't have a serious pass rush, then you need corners in the back that can cover for 3, 4, 5 seconds. And that's what Gonzo can do. So I prefer just pay him. Give him the 34, 35 that's going to require. Um, and you just got to live with it. Because like I said, like Carlton Davis, we have a couple other corners that are our secondary really good, but like some of those other guys in a couple years aren't going to be there. And I feel like he's like a cornerstone of the defense. And I just don't think that you can afford to not have him on the team.
So I want to use this analogy. Good afternoon. Uh, like in the art world, they have these things that are priceless, that are art pieces that there's no amount of money that you can give that will equal the value of this piece of art. That's how I feel about Christian Gonzalez right now, where he is. I understand it'd be, um, fans to say, well, 5 first round draft picks, that's crazy to turn down. Yeah, I get that. But how many of those first round draft picks are going to be starters? I know right now that Christian Gonzalez is going to be an all pro for a really long time. The way that he's trending, there's no amount of first round draft picks that you can give me that I'm gonna trade Christian Gonzalez for. I'm not willing to take the chance for the unknown for what he is right now, and he hasn't even reached his prime. And I get it. Sauce went for two. Sauce ain't Gonzo. He's not. He's not. They're not even playing the same sport. I'm sorry. The Colts got fleeced.
No, I definitely agree with that just because the hype that people was giving Sauce, I'm just like, he's not what y'all think it is. Don't get me wrong. I think he's good, great at times, but the type of corner y'all speaking of, that's a Gonzo, that's a PS2. It's those young guys that I'm seeing are in that type of conversation that people want to play Sauce in. And to me, I just think there's a deficiency in his game that I don't know if he can get to that.
Did Pop just go out or something?
I think she just finished her statement.
Oh, okay.
Y-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the thing with like it's like saying like with the Broncos trade, like Pat Surtain or with like the Texans trade Stingley. In the position that the team is in, they just come off a Super Bowl appearance. So it's like you're trying to build upon the team through the draft and like the cap space that you have. And I just think if you trade Gonzo, it's like you taking a step back as far as the roster goes, and I just don't think that's a good idea, personally.
Yeah, I don't think the Patriots are ever gonna trade Gonzo. I just think
I mean,
he's just a
yeah,
he's just a key piece to like what they're building.
yeah, and I
He
mean, plus
about
if
to
they want to
reset the
trade,
market.
yeah, I mean,
Bro,
he's definitely going to get 34, 35 million for sure. I mean, that's what he's going to get if you sign him right now. But like like if the Patriots are worried about cap space, like there's other players that they could trade. Like I mean, like they have Michael Wendell who's on the last year of his deal, so so that's going to free up some cap space. If you really feel compelled to trade somebody, then I'd say trade like Barmore, because I mean like I think he's making like 16, 17 million. I mean he's pretty good, but like I said, if you need there are other pieces that they could trade if they really want to free up cap space.
Okay,
Now the
so
selfish now the selfish part of me, right? Now that I'm thinking about it just a little bit, no, just wait a little bit, J Mick. Just wait one more season, please. Let me let me play that 27 dude first, man. For you pay
nah,
Gonzo,
fuck that. Hey,
cause
Mick, pay that nigga now. Nah,
nah,
fuck
hey,
that,
wait
bro.
a season,
I ain't trying to hear this
wait a
shit. You trying to
season.
save me? Hell nah. Nah, Mick, y'all play Gonzo now, cause that's gonna force them Eagles to make a decision with Quinion. That's gonna force
Well, there
We
them.
ain't
gonna
no
pay him, but
decision.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
there ain't no decision. They're gonna pay Quinion.
we gonna
Yeah,
I
nah.
mean,
pay
because
Just
him,
I'm
what
not
but
I'm
sure if
come
you
what I'm
on,
just
man.
saying is up that bag price. That's what
and
I'm
I'm not
Do
saying,
sure if
me
man.
you've
a
seen it.
favor, J Mick, man. We friends,
So
well,
man. Come
so
on,
so
well,
man.
so I mean, just to speak on this real quick, like I don't know if you've seen it, but like Gonzo had like a celebrity basketball game in Texas, right? And they asked him a question: who are his top five corners? And then I know the video circulating, and Quinion was one of the five guys that he named. So I mean, Quinion gonna get paid, bro. Like it's just he's probably gonna, like because I was probably gonna get paid this year, and Quinion gonna set the market next year. That's how it works.
Exactly, Mick. Exactly. Get ready, Smith.
Man, we supposed to be friends, bro. You could just wait one off season, let me pay first, then you pay second. That's it. That's all
I'm,
I'm saying.
I mean, it's not up to
now,
me. I mean, it's not my fault that your guy's not like eligible for an extension. That's not my fault.
all right. So talking about another guy who just recently got paid, or more so last season, you got Alaric Jackson, who was arrested and released later. Uh, should Rams fans be concerned there? Because if you're missing your starting left tackle going into the season, if that amounts to anything, um, I mean, Matthew Stafford's not getting any younger. He's not going to be able to move any better. Should there be concern there, or is it too early to worry?
I think it's too early to worry because I think that case is still in the initial stages of it. I don't even think been a preliminary hearing for it yet. And honestly, teams right now, um, some of them are just being patient to see what happens. Unless you start to pile up the dumb stuff, then they might take action then. But with this just being what it is, I think it's too early to worry about this for real.
His next court date is scheduled for June 30th.
Okay, then we'll
So
know
here
more.
soon.
Yeah, we'll know more then. And I think once we figure out what's happening with that, we just keep paying attention because until there's like close to a conclusion, I don't think you need to worry about it. You
The
just
only
need
thing
to
we're
see
gonna
how
find
this
out on June 30th is if he pleads guilty or not guilty.
exactly. And then you're going to see like how that plays out. And if he does plead guilty, see what the terms of that plea is. And then you got to worry because then the suspension is going to come. But until anything happens, I just say just wait and see.
Yeah, because what I believe is going to happen, obviously, the lawyer is going to do as many continuations and push outs as possible to continue keeping his client eligible to play football until the latest possible time, what I mean, to take action. So, if anything, I don't see it happening before at least midway through the season before you even see any type of plea deals and things of that nature. Because he's gonna pay one of the top attorneys to make sure he gets the opportunity to play this season and lock his position and stuff in like that. So I
Hey,
think we
so
got some time before we have any.
speaking of hiring top attorneys, we got another story. Brendan Sorsby. Um, Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech quarterback, was arrested. Or not arrested. He was suspended by the NCAA for gambling. 90,000 over his career in college in total is what he bet, including bets on his own team to lose twice. He wasn't playing at the time, but still, he bet on his own team. He was suspended by the NCAA, and they pushed it to the courtroom, got an injunction, and the next hearing is set for 2 weeks after the national championship. So Brendan Sorsby can now play. My question for you guys is, should Texas Tech even play Brendan Sorsby at all?
I don't think they should. Um, just because he like it's not even that he violated the rule, it's the excessiveness in which he violated it. And this is something I can't believe that he will be allowed to play this year. Considering like if you look at the rules, players can gamble, but he violated the worst penalties that the NCAA has established for college players that gamble. And for him to be able to play is insanity to me. I don't think Tech should play him. But again, that's up to the university to decide. And I think with their aspirations to potentially, I think that they are a national title contending team. I think they're just going to ride it out. I just personally think it's just a bad look if he does play.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a terrible look. Go ahead.
No, I think when she said it the best, like it speaks the excessiveness. Like 90,000 isn't a little bit of change that you just 25 here, 25 there, 50 here, 10 here. Now you were betting thousands of dollars on your team at a time, and I don't know what the exact earning was from the gambling, but I'm pretty sure you made a good amount of money that you for you to be able to gamble $90,000. So I think when you look at it from that perspective, man, I feel like if you are considering them professionals, because they're being paid to play a sport, uh, a substantial amount of money, I think he should be held to the standard of every other professional that has been caught gambling on the sport. You should be suspended. You should be reprimanded. You should be made to sit out. And I don't think you should be able to escape your suspension by declaring for the like. Obviously, he could have, but declaring for another sport, like playing somewhere else. No, I think you should have to sit this one out, man. You should have to tough it out, deal with the consequences. 2 games to me is not enough. J Mick certified. Anybody else got some conversation on Brandon Sorsby?
I mean, I'll just say that the NCAA put themselves in this position. That's kind of where I stand with it. Them not being able to, like deal. I won't say the situation, but like, like there's just a lot of the gray area in these like the NCAA rules and stuff like that. Where a kid, you've seen it, he's not the only kid though that will take it to the court, get an injunction. I mean, because the quarterback from Ole Miss did the same thing with his injury thing. So it's different. It's a different situation, but it's the same method to the madness where they go to court, they get an injunction at a local court, where there might be a judge that has some allegiance to the schools that they play for. And they get the injunction so that they can play, and that's what they do. So I have to blame NCAA for that. Like they should have done more previously to only stop this kind of things from happening.
Yeah, but hold on. It's not that he just violated the rules. Like, He broke the one rule that you can't break in sports. There is no other sport where you can bet on games for your own team or just bet even on the sport that you are actively playing without punishment. Like this is bigger than football, in my opinion. This is the last thing that college athletics had left was a little bit of integrity, right? You already lost the battle when it came to allowing grown men back into your sport because we see it. We have 24 and 25-year-olds every year still playing football, playing basketball. You can go play professional in Europe for 10 years basketball and come back and play college basketball. So the sanctity of football or of the just sports world in general, like the last thing you had left is guys not being able to gamble on games they participate in. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you get caught for that. Like look at what happened to Pete Rose. And now all of a sudden it's a slap on the wrist. So what, you missed a game against Abilene Christian and who was the other one? Oregon State. Oh, like I don't get it. I just, for them to do this and they're not gonna go out and win the Natty either way. Like, come on, man. You'll be just as good of a team with Will Hammond, who would be available for week 3, as you'll be with Brennan Sorsby. I'm not saying Sorsby's not better, because he is. But you got to have some integrity. Have a little bit of integrity, man. This is disgusting.
Certified, any comments on the Brandon Sorsby situation?
No.
No? You don't have any comments? What?
No comments.
Who is talking?
Oh,
Certified, but he
thought,
muffled.
yeah, I had my microphone turned down. No comment. It's my comment. It's just beating a dead horse. Certain people get to do whatever they want to do. And certain people can't. So here we are. Shout out to the good old boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say one thing about the integrity argument. The NCAA can't really make an integrity argument, man. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I'm not agreeing with the fact that the kid is gambling and can play, which you should not be doing anyways. But like, I can never agree with the NCAA making an integrity argument because them niggas, excuse my language, they don't have any integrity to lean on. Now, I mean, the kid shouldn't have been gambling, but it's like I said, like like you have to put like. My thing with the NCAA is like before, they legally started paying these athletes, they didn't put any guidelines in, and that's why it's like the wild west right now, where kids can get paid and kids can like they come up with like these kids are ineligible and then they take it to a court because the NCAA don't like they don't have any real power to make any decisions because as you can see these college kids take it to court and like get these injunctions, and there's nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, I think
So I
they
mean, it is
put
what it
them.
is.
They put themselves in that position though, because when these programs were like, "Hey, we do want to start paying our players, for NIL, like we want to do that," and when certain conferences or schools decided like fuck with the NCAA saying we're going to create our own NIL programs at the school. We're going to run it. We're going to do this. And you try to put a permanent ban on schools or you try to block them from participating in the college football. And they basically strong armed you to get what the fuck they wanted because you realize that they are the product, not you. And so now you have the system the way it is, and it's fucked up, but it's your fault because you did it. You should have took the time to put certain things in place, and you wouldn't have a lot of this chaos that we are seeing.
Well, that brings us to our next question then. You have the Ted Cruz Protect College Sports Act of 2026. Could that become one of the most important college athletics bills in modern history?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I, I think Smitty's not here.
Yeah, because I think it's just gonna shape how I think it's gonna shape college football for the foreseeable future. I don't know if it's gonna be a positive effect though. Um,
you think there's any? Okay. Well, let's switch back over until we get Smitty back. You think there's anything to? Oh, there he goes, right there. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think the bill is just gonna. It's trying to bring structure to college football, and the two major conferences that are against it are the SEC and the Big Ten. But to one of the viewers' point, he said, "Watch Nick Saban's testimony to the Senate." That one, like it's eye opening when Saban, who I mean, he usually advocates for the SEC, is now basically standing against the conference because he's trying to do what's right for college football. And it seems like when you look at these different conferences and you look at schools like Texas Tech, Michigan, everybody is just doing whatever they can to get power instead of trying to do what's best for the sport. And I do think for now it's gonna work. But long term, I think it unfortunately is gonna completely change the sport that we grew up watching, and it's gonna become something that we don't even recognize anymore.
yeah, and that's my
Uh,
point because I think I think parts of this bill are very reactionary to things that have happened, right? And okay, you want to change it for the future, but how is this going to affect this sport in a long term way? I don't know if that's what I'm saying. I don't know if this is going to have a long lasting positive effect on how college football operates. I don't know. Do I think it can fix some of the things that's happening now? Sure, yes. But looking at the grand scheme, I'm just not sure.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. The last person that I need election on integrity from is Nick Saban. I sat there and watched freshmen pull up to his school, and the parking lot looked like a Chrysler dealership with Hellcats. I don't know how so many freshmen have Hellcats. You know, 80, $90,000 cars. I've seen them with M5s. M5s are six-figure cars, Corvettes. He's the last person that I want to hear about integrity from. Okay, he's been paying for players under the table pretty much his entire career, and especially at Alabama. And now that they started
allegedly,
at oh,
allegedly,
okay,
unless you
all
have
right,
proof, it's
don't cut me
allegedly.
off, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind when I want to talk about what's alleged. Um, uh, they decided to legally pay players, and he quit. He quit, and now he wants to be the whistleblower. Nah, bro, go ahead, sit down. I'm cool. I don't need your perspective. Thank you.
You realize from the jump he told everybody what was going to happen, and what he said would happen is exactly what happened.
That's cool.
So if I do want somebody speaking for the sport right now, even if it goes against the conference that my team is currently in, I'm for that. Yeah,
Okay, I'm happy for you, brother.
it's better than the alternative, which is doing nothing and letting guys that gamble almost $100,000 just continue to play, even though the NCAA finds them ineligible.
All
That
right.
that's not the path forward.
Well,
My only thing is like you expect this government to pass a bill for that.
but they can't even pass, like, like the Republicans don't even want to pass a health care bill. There's other bills that need to be passed for the American people. They ain't passed them bills, but you think they're gonna pass this bill? I just don't see it that likely, bro. Because I mean, like them senators in the in the Senate and the like these people fight tooth and nail just because it's party to party. So I have serious doubts that they're gonna even pass this bill. To be honest with you, like I don't have any problems with the bill. It would give some structure, but my thing is I don't really trust politicians. I don't trust the senators. I don't trust the congressmen and women to be able to be able to do this. So
Not
like that's
only
just
that,
that's just where I stand.
not only that, and my like we're seeing the issues with these players going to courts with judges that have allegiances to the programs in which they're playing for. You think that's not the same thing that will happen in politics, in my opinion? Like,
And then like, and then you have that, and you have lobbyists that will lobby on each side of the issue.
mm,
I mean, like it's just like I said, like if you know politics, man, it's not going to be as cut and dry as voting on the bill. Like there's going to be some senators that's going to use their leverage where they're going to put extra stuff in this bill that's not even in there. Like I said, like it goes back to the NC, like all this stuff go back to the NCAA, man. Like it really do. Years and years of inaction is put us to the point we're at right now. So I'm not saying I don't like the bill. I think it's a good idea. But like I said, I just don't trust the politicians to follow through because I'm not a political guy. Like I pay attention to current events enough to know. And there's a lot of stuff this country needs that they haven't even done yet or ever. And I don't expect them ever to do that. So I just find it highly unlikely that they're gonna come together on this issue and like get the 60 votes to pass it in the Senate and then go over to the Congress and pass it and all that. I mean, if it get to Trump, he'll sign it because it's Nick Saban is probably a supporter of Trump or whatever, because he's, I mean, if you're rich, I expect you to be a supporter of Trump or whatever. That's fine because like you're trying to save on your taxes. That's whatever. But like I said, I have real doubts that the bill even gets that far. Like it even gets to the president to need to sign the bill. So I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they can all agree to something and it get passed. But I'd be really surprised.
Okay, so shifting back over to the actual game of football, right? Because it's unfortunate, but nowadays a lot of the battles are fought off of the field instead of on them. Let's talk about, honestly. Hold on, Nico. No, because you blaming the NCAA, J Mick, and that doesn't sit right with me. I get it. The NCAA could have taken action, right? But what broke the system is Tennessee suing them over the Nico Ayamaliava
yep.
case back then. That's what broke the whole sport. Before that, because they wanted to put sanctions on them because that was true pay for play at that time. They just were lazy about it. They didn't do it the right way. But instead of taking it on the chin because they messed up and got caught, no, they went and sued. And that's what opened Pandora's box for everybody else. Like they started this, right? But and he's no longer even at the university. He's now at UCLA, which is one of the teams that we'll be talking about in today's tiers list.
I mean, I hate to break it to you. I mean, that's reactionary. Like if the NCAA would have like I said, like they let it get to this point is what I'm trying to tell you. It's like if they would have put because let's just cut the BS, bro. These schools been paying players for a long time. Like let's just like I'm not gonna act like that ain't happened. And so if they would have thoughtfully put in a system and put guardrails in for the system that they have now, there's a lot of the stuff we going through right now we wouldn't be going through, but they didn't plan for that. That's the problem. Like they're supposed to be the governing body of collegiate sports. And to be honest, they're not doing a good job of that. They haven't for a long time. Whether you're talking about college basketball, college football, baseball, whatever sport you want to bring up, they have not done a good job of managing collegiate sports. And that's why we're at the point we're at now, where kids are going to school for a year and getting their money and then like getting the portal and like another school getting more money so they leave. That's just the system that we're in.
And in my opinion, the NCAA got to take some responsibility for that.
So what's keeping kids from just going to class? Like, what does academic probation actually mean nowadays, J-Man?
I
Does it
mean,
mean
that is
anything
essentially.
anymore?
I mean, if you get put on that, then that means you're 1 foot out the door of the of the actual university. That's pretty much what it means. It's like if you continue to get bad grades, then you're gonna get kicked out of the institution. That's exactly how it's supposed to work.
That's how it's supposed to work, but in today's day and age, what I gotta go to class for? I'll just sue y'all. No, my main reason for being here is playing football because I get paid to play football. One, and two, I generate money for this university playing football. So what do I need to go to class for? I
Well, the
make this
first
college money.
Well, the first guardrail is the school. Like the school, if he did illegal activity, should have ruled him ineligible. That's the first guardrail. The second guardrail is the conference. If the school don't want to do it, then the conference should rule him ineligible, just the basis of that. And then the last guardrail is the NCAA that's supposed to manage, these conferences in these schools. But the problem is the NCAA don't really have any power over these schools. That's the problem. So it's not like I'm not completely blaming the NCAA because the school should have suspended them and or they instituted some 2-game suspension for non-conference games or whatever. And then, like I said, it's the conference, then the NCAA. Like one of those bodies should have suspended this kid. And I mean, the conference could have done it. They chose not to. So I mean, like I said, I don't agree with the kid gambling on the sport that he plays at that level. I mean, if he was gambling on the NFL, fine, whatever. It doesn't really affect anything. Cool, whatever. But I don't agree with gambling on college football if you're a college football player. It's just too many things that could transpire to them. Like an illegal body, like the mafia, or or bookies could come up to you, offer you money to throw games or whatever to influence the or prop bets or games. Or like, I don't agree with it. But this is just where we're at. And you can go to court and get in the, go to a court where there's a bunch of Texas Tech judges that's on the bench, and they can do what they did, and that's just the system that we're in. And I get people feel like it ruins college football, but unless the defendant in the case takes it to the Supreme Court, there's not, and by the time that happens, like, it's just an injunction, so the court case is going to happen. The problem is it don't happen until February. So by the time that happens, the season would have been over. He'd be in the NFL, or if he makes it that far, because I don't know if teams are really going to draft you if they caught you gambling on football. I don't know. So I mean, I mean, the system is not perfect. It's pretty flawed, but there's nothing we can do about it at this point until the NCAA, can do something about it.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with it, and I blame Judge Ken Curry out there in Lubbock. Yeah, that's what I blame. Cause ain't no way. Come on, man. What happened to accountability? People used to have to be accountable for things, like even when they were wrong, and like it used to just be wrong. Now you're not wrong anymore. It's like, oh nah, I I had a problem, so what I did, it was wrong, but I should still be allowed to play. I don't agree with that, man. I feel like even if you had issues you're dealing with, and I feel for him in that department, there's no way that you shouldn't have to deal with the circumstances of your actions. You knew what getting caught would bring one way or another. And I mean, you got caught. You get caught doing something wrong, you gotta stand up for it, right? Well, at least that's how it used to be. Now you just say, "Oh no, just go get a good lawyer. You making $5 million in NIL? Go get a good lawyer. That good lawyer, he'll get you off, or at least he'll get you eligible for the season. And then after the season, who cares what happens? Yeah. So you know we're cooked. But speaking of teams that are cooked, can we get into tier 4? Y'all ready to get into that?
Let's rock out.
So, tier 4, teams on academic probation. You got Michigan State, Northwestern, and Purdue. So, out of these three teams, which team do you think has the best chance to make it into the next tier?
Me personally, looking at it, um, I like the Boilermakers, man, and what they kind of put together a little
I
bit.
mean, to be honest, I don't think any of these teams like. I
Hey,
mean,
J
Michigan
Mick, could
State.
you hear Smitty?
They. I mean, Michigan State got Pat Fitzgerald. I think that's his first year at the university. I mean, if I had to pick one team, I guess it'd be Michigan State because they have a. I don't want to say a legacy, but like they're like a. They've always been a middler in the Big Ten. I mean, like they might have one or two outlier seasons where they're really good, where they win like 8, 9 games. So if I had to say a team, it'd probably be Michigan State. Northwestern has been bad as long as I can remember, and I mean Purdue too.
Um, I like Purdue in a sense, man. I like what they've been putting together. I think they got an opportunity to win some games here. Um, it's a sticky situation when you're on academic probation, right? Because you're considered some of the worst of the conference. So you're all battling to try to fight to the next tier. But I think Purdue got an opportunity, man, to move up and get in tier three sometime this season, man. When we come back to this, I think you can have a switch out with Purdue.
Honestly, I think all three of these teams could potentially move up. They all had some good additions, but shout out Michigan State because they got our former offensive coordinator and quarterback coach from Alabama, Roll Tide. Let's keep it pushing into tier three, man. Unless y'all got any closing statements on this tier.
Nah, I kind of agree with what J Mick said. I don't see any of the programs that are in this tier that is gonna be able to make a leap into the next tier this season. I think a lot of work has to be put into these programs. Um, like the downside, Michigan State. I've been kind of watching that free fall happen for a little minute now. Um, and Purdue, they always have like some good years and some down years. It's kind of the tenure of the program. So I just don't really see any of these teams making a push this year or next year.
All right, you said let's get into this tier three, man.
Tier three, man. Office hours needed. These are teams who they're eligible, right? But they're hanging on by a thread. They really need to lock in and hit those books to get them grades up. So in this tier, we got Rutgers, Wisconsin, UCLA, Nebraska, Minnesota, Maryland, and Illinois. Um, which team do you guys like the most, and which team do you think could maybe drop out of this tier and go on academic probation by the end of the season?
I actually have three teams. Well, not three, two teams I'm looking at. Specifically in this tier that I think has the potential to move up, and that's Maryland and Illinois. I liked how that Illinois team played. At times last season, there was a couple of questionable games. I'm just like, eh, I'm seeing the lack of talent at certain positions, but if you can kind of fix that, you can kind of you can move up a bit. Maryland, I think the freshman quarterback they had last year had a decent season for a freshman, and with him returning and staying, and them bringing in guys that play with him retaining guys that play with him last year, and he's going into the season with the same coach. I expect more from them. Um, I don't I don't think this immediately has them competing for the Big Ten. but I do think this is a team that's on an upward trajectory. So I really want to see what Maryland does this year. And the team I think that's going to fall out of this and go to academic probation is UCLA. Um, this team was bad last year, and I don't believe in Nico. I think this team is. I think the UCLA football program is going to continue to go on the downward slide that they have been on since Chip Kelly was there. I don't see any changes that's going to happen, and I think they're honestly going to be worse.
Okay, so we talk about teams that had the potential. I think my team that has the potential to move up the tier two would be Maryland. I like what they have in Malik Washington. Last year he was a very young quarterback, so obviously down the stretch he played a little bit worse than he did early in the season, but he had a nice stretch of football that I, technically thought, maybe if he stayed on that trajectory, he could push Maryland to some new heights last year. Obviously, it didn't work out that way, but this year he's going to get some continuity with his offense, offensive coordinator. He's going to get a chance to prove to the world what we seen last year in the first 6 or 7 games of that season wasn't a fluke. I think Maryland to me has the most chance to move up and to move down. I think it's Rutgers, man. Um, in the words of Certified, man, they got a football team. I think they end up academic probation at some point, but yeah, I just don't like what Rutgers puts together. I don't like the team to me structural wise. I think they have a couple good players, but I think during this transfer portal they should have invested a little bit more money into the team to give them a better chance to build around uh, that running game that they love to use.
Yeah, so when I look at college football, to me, coaching is a very important factor. Because if you don't have a good coach that can just coach up the team, I feel as if you're going to fall short of your expectations. Um, and not that like I feel like Greg Schiano he's a good football coach. He's a good coach for Rutgers, but I don't know. I just don't see them staying in this tier. Like I think they're going to end up in tier four. I just don't feel like they're going to make enough progress to stay in this tier. Um, the school that I have moving up out of this tier would be Illinois or Nebraska. I mean, Matt Rule tends to have the ability to turn, like to turn around a program. Normally, he does that in the second year. His second year was last year. Didn't quite happen like they wanted it to happen. But I mean, those are the two schools that I'm looking at to move out of this tier and up into tier two. Um, I think UCLA will just stay firmly in this tier. Like I mean, like I think they might be able to get bowl eligible, might be able to get to 6 wins. I got them around 5, 6 wins somewhere in that area. It's really based upon, I mean, how that defense could play because the 3 games they did win last year, their defense was a big part of them winning those games. Um, I mean, Minnesota and Wisconsin, I just think are just made for the tier. I'd be surprised if they move out the tier. But I mean, I mean, I'm not a fortune teller, but that's just how I feel. Maryland to me is the wild card team. I mean, Malik Washington he was a very good recruit. He's going into his second year. And I feel like he's going to make a lot of strides this year, but I don't trust the coach. I do not trust Loxley at all. Um, so that's kind of where I call them a wild card team where I feel like they could do anything like that. I mean, they could move to the 4th tier, they could stay in this tier, or they can move up to the 2nd tier. But I'm going to have them sticking around in the 3rd tier because, like I said, I don't trust the head coach. I just don't feel like he's a good head coach, and I don't feel like he's going to take them to where they need to go. I mean, even though they get solid recruits, I mean, there's a good amount of Maryland football players that make it to the NFL. I mean, it's like that's the one thing about like the Terps is like they get NFL talent, they can't quite put it together. So that's pretty much what I would say.
So, real quick, before we move on to tier two, shout out Rutgers, first of all. Rutgers has one of the best wide receivers in the nation, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, if you don't know about Duff, go learn about Duff, man. That's one of the best in the nation. Like I think he's a 2027 first round pick. I think the guy's legit. You got a 1,200-yard rusher coming back. You got some experienced guys on defense, also some youth mixed in. But Greg Schiano, to me, is a good developer, and I think he does a lot with the talent that he does get. I'm not saying they're going 9-3 or nothing like that, but I could see maybe a 7-win season in their future, 7-8 wins with the bowl game, something like.
Mm.
You're a little high on Rutgers there, I see.
They got my guy Dylan Lonergan over there too. Roll Tide, former
Oh,
Alabama quarterback.
I didn't even know they had a football program.
Well, they got one of the best wide receivers in the nation.
And how's their quarterback?
They got former Alabama quarterback Dylan Lonergan, also former Boston College, I want to say quarterback, but you know,
But
he's out.
you said all of that to say Buns.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to
You
pick him on the roster.
you said all that.
Well, no, they got. I mean, he's not the favorite to be the starter. Obviously, you know, I just had to find a way to bring Alabama into it, even though we're talking about the Big Ten. But they actually have a kid named AJ Sarachi or Sarach, however you say his last name, who is going into his 3rd year in the system. That is the favorite right now to be the starter. But I think that like KJ Duff, I'm serious. I think that guy and the running back, I think they do have some talent. Like I said, that they're not a world beater. They're not an elite team, but they'll win a few games this year. They'll be all right.
I also want to highlight. I'm looking at Wisconsin's running back. I believe his name is Abu Sama. He used to play at Iowa State. I want to see how he performs for them this season. Wisconsin, to me, they be producing some quality running backs. So I just want to see how he ends up working out for him this year.
All right, so Dre, we on the tier 2?
Yeah, let's go on to tier 2, man.
All righty, tier 2.
So here we got the bookworms, man. Oh, wait a minute.
Maryland. Oh, hold on, that's the wrong one. Just keep it up though. It still got the right numbers though. Let me switch it out though. I uploaded the wrong one. Keep going. Just go to 8. Iowa the last 10.
We got Iowa, Washington, USC, Michigan, and Penn State in tier 2, which is the honor roll tier. These are the teams that are hitting the books. They're not the best in their class. They're definitely a threat. They're on that tier 1's heels. They're ready to cause chaos at any point in time. So, which one of these teams is your favorite to move up into tier 1? And do you have a team that you think moves down into tier 3?
Move up to tier 1. I like USC, man. I like USC. I'm a big Lincoln Riley fan, man. I think he's gonna bring some things to that offense this year to make his quarterback a little bit more comfortable. I think that defense should make some strides this year. I think USC should move up. Moving down, I think to me, I think it's Michigan, man. I think Michigan. If Bryce Underwood does not have a substantially better season than he had in his previous season and carry that offense to some different heights, they could be one of the teams that we see sitting in tier 3 in the upcoming season.
Man. So not a believer in Kyle Whittingham, huh?
I can go next. When I look at the tier, the 2 teams I think that will just stay solid in the tier are Iowa, Washington, and Michigan. Like I said earlier in the tier before, I think coaching is important. I think Kyle Whittingham is a really good coach. He tends to get like when he was at Utah, he tends to get the most out of his players. Even though the caliber of recruit that he was getting at Utah is not going to be the caliber that he's getting at Michigan, I feel like, Michigan is going to get better recruits that are just more talented coming out of high school. Because Michigan is just going to get players because they're Michigan and the Big Ten, and then he's also going to be able to bring in some guys. I just think it's going to take some time. It's his first year at the school. They're bringing back a lot of guys, so I just think they're going to stay solid on this tier. They're going to compete. I think they'll get into a good bowl game, but I don't think they're going to make enough strides to get up to tier one. To really challenge for like the conference and to challenge for a natty just yet. I think it's going to take more time. Washington, I feel like it's just going to kind of be steady as well, and Iowa as well. Like I feel like those schools are the other schools that are just going to be steady in this tier, and they're going to stay in this tier. The team I got dropping out the tier is Penn State. And the thing is, it was a hard decision for me to say that. Because I do like Matt Campbell. For those that don't know, like he coached at Iowa State last year. He's a really good head coach. But it's his first year at Penn State. Penn State lost a lot of their players to Virginia Tech because obviously the old coach left and went to Virginia Tech, and he took quite a few players with him. And then like Penn State, last time I looked at their recruiting class, they weren't doing that great at that point. Like I don't know, like, and that was months ago. So I don't know if that's really changed a lot.
Well, Matt Campbell definitely brought some kids with him over, and if I'm not mistaken, he also brought some recruits with him.
Yeah. And I'm muting myself by accident. Matter of fact, I wasn't quite finished.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. So I just feel like it's his first year. Like they're bringing in a new system, so it's going to take some time. So I have a feeling that like they might drop down to tier 3. And if they were, like, I think they'd be at the top of tier 3. But like I said, I think it's going to take some time to build up the program. And then I agree with Smitty, man. USC, like I think Lincoln Riley got a little bit of pressure on them, man. Like the seat is kind of getting a little warm over there. Like they kind of, like since they joined the Big Ten, they have not done the greatest, like, in conference. Not to say they haven't won any games, but especially when they go on the road, they tend to struggle. And then I think Lincoln Riley, has to kind of show and prove how good the program is. And like I said, I think the seat's a little warm for him. I'm not saying they're gonna fire him. I think it's starting to get a little warm. Like, fans at USC, like, they want to win. Like, I'm not saying they're accustomed to winning over the last 20 years, but like they do have a rich history of winning. So I feel as if like he needs to elevate that program. And then I think he might be able to get them into like the lower end of tier 1.
Yeah, I can agree with the sentiments about USC. I think they are in prime position to move up to tier 1. And I think the excuses that people have been kind of shooting Riley Bell for, I think that's over with. You got to put up or shut up at this point, and you're returning with your starting quarterback that you had last year. So there's some consistency there. And I expect better production out of them because last year they lost a couple of games I thought they should have won. And that goes into an issue I think they've been struggling with for years with SC in regards to the defensive play calling and talent that they have on that side of the ball. Like having a consistent unit, not individual players, because they have produced some pretty good NFL talent for the defense. I think Penn State, this is a team that can slide out of this tier. I think there's a lot of movement that's happening. I think it's going to take some time for them to kind of get back to the Penn State that's always competing for a title but can't quite get over that hump. And I think they're going to slide down. I don't think they're not going to be able. I think they'll go to like 9, which will be the top of tier 3. And yeah, I think Michigan, Washington, Iowa, they're gonna stay steady where they at.
Yeah, I think USC is going to stay in tier 2 because as a self-proclaimed Jetfish enthusiast, I got Washington going 10-2 and getting into the top tier because week 5, I got them going on the road to the Coliseum to beat Lincoln Riley and the USC Trojans. And I think it comes down to that game, and that game is the separator between the USC moving up into tier one and staying in tier two.
No, I think that's the interesting thing about some of these, because I believe moving from tier one to tier three could come down to just a couple of games on your schedule that you need to win, or you do lose. Like if you win those games, we see you in a different light. Obviously you just said it, like USC got a couple big games on their schedule, and Washington is one of them. So um, I think this year, man, seeing a Michigan and uh, you know seeing them playing some of those big games, we'll find out. But I think like Iowa to me, I agree with everybody. It's like one of those steady eddies, man. They gonna be who they gonna be. Uh, I don't really see them moving up too much. I think they're gonna be rock solid on tier two. Kind of where I'm at with them though. Penn State is a team I don't know a lot about though. Like I think they got a lot of questions they got to get answered. Um, it looks good on paper, but it's a lot of things that they're going into this season. It's gonna be new.
I agree, it does look good on paper. And before we move on, I gotta big up Zion Tracy. Zion Tracy is a guy that when I was going back to watch Zakee Wheatley stood out to me. Matt Campbell is on record saying he will have a big role used kind of as like a jackknife, just in all different types of ways within that defense this year in that secondary. And I think he's going to be a name to watch. Um, Come draft time next year, man. So KJ Duck, remember the names KJ Duck and Zion Tracy. Remember those.
All right, man. So we getting into the meat and potatoes here, huh?
On top of the top.
All right, man.
Here we got our scholars tier. Like these are the teams that got some scholarship, right? Like these other teams, they trying to get here. They're trying to get where these teams are. These teams are at the pinnacle. Even though one of these teams hasn't won the conference in 5 years. We'll get to that here in a minute. But Indiana coming in at number one. I mean, Kurt Signetti, you see what he did to Bama last year. He had us, he was torturing us. It is what it is, man. He's a great coach. Got to give it up for him. He brings in transfer quarterback Josh Hoover, and he has two wide receivers that could go early in the draft. Um, which one of these three teams do you guys like the best? Is it Ohio State, Oregon, or Indiana?
For me, it's Indiana. Um, I like what they were able to do. I'm always here for the underdog, quote unquote. So I like Indiana, man. I think this is a squad that Kurt he gonna continue to add talent to. He's gonna continue to root players to. And honestly, I think that when them winning the Natty kind of changes the type of prospects that are willing to come to Indiana now. I think that they can take swings at these 5 stars that probably want to go to these other premier programs. They're like, hey, yo, Indiana won the Natty. We go over here, we play for them. We could be a part of a team that brings them a chip again, you know? So that's the conversations that they can have with recruits and stuff like that. Um, Ohio State, they just kind of been steady. Like, they haven't won the division, but hey, man, they be in the playoff. They be in the playoff hunt consistently. I expect that the same, but I do think Indiana, to me, they're my favorite to win this conference again this upcoming season.
I think it's a little tough situation for me because obviously, I like what Indiana was able to do last year. Um, Kind of a shocker, him being able to turn the program around and in that dramatic of a fashion. Um, Obviously, Ohio State, Pop and Dre pretty much alluded to they haven't won it. You know what I mean? They haven't been able to get over the hump. but I do believe in them. I think they have the requisite pieces to be the team that scares teams to play them. When they're rolling and they're hitting on all cylinders, it's a dangerous team. Oregon to me, I just I don't know. I've always been a little bit standoffish when it came to them and how much faith I have in the team because they've always been the flashy, extravagant, vibrant team that does all the things you want your team to do. But when it's time to play the big games, when it's time for the moment to escalate to the next level, they've always fallen short. And that's just where I stand. I think Ohio State, to me, the team I have the most faith in on this list.
Um, to me, I think for Indiana, like going through the season, like I was an early believer in them. Like I wasn't a preseason believer, but once I sat down and started watching them early in the season, I'm like, yo, this team is legit. Um, and they kind of went all, not kind of, but like they went all the way and they won their first natty. My only thing with Indiana is like, like Mendoza's gone, who, he's gone, like, like Mendoza's brother also transferred as well. So they brought in a quarterback out the portal who's I can't remember his name, but
Josh Hoover.
Yeah, Josh Hoover. He's a pretty good prospect. But my thing is, it's a lot different when you doing the hunting versus being the hunted. And that even go in the conference, like now, like people in their own conference are looking out for them. Teams like Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, USC. What like now they're trying to hunt them down, and I just think that's a little bit different. For me, I don't have them winning the conference. I do have them making the CFP though. But I mean, for me, to me, I've got Oregon like. And the thing is, the reason why I have Oregon winning, like winning the conference is because when it comes to that, I can believe in them until they get to the college football playoff. Now, once they get to the college football playoff, I mean, like, all bets is off. Like, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to pick them to win the Natty because, first of all, something they've never done, and something is like when they get to the playoff system, they tend to kind of, I don't want to say choke, but they tend to underperform. Um, and so for me, Oregon, for them to do what I think they're going to do. They're going to need strong play from like Dante Moore. Like Dante Moore to me, I mean, he had bad moments in like high leverage situations last year, especially in the CFP. I mean, like even the game that they won, I didn't think he played that well in. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe they played Texas Tech their first game. I think, or was it another school? I think it was Texas Tech. He didn't look the best in the game, but they did enough to win the game. Um, and then I have Ohio State. Like I have Ohio State third, like second or third, like in the conference. Jeremiah Smith is a tremendous talent. I mean, Rondé proved a couple years ago that he could get the job done. But I don't really trust in their quarterback that much. I mean, he gonna have to show me. Like I view their quarterback and a lot like I view Arch. Like they're gonna have to show me first because I just haven't seen the performances at like at a consistent level for me to trust them. And so I mean, maybe he, I mean, like maybe saying to like prove me wrong, but as of right now, today, I just don't trust the kid, and he's just going to have to show me.
Julian saying for me is definitely a wild card. It makes me a little hesitant to pick Ohio State because I don't know what I'm getting at the quarterback position right now. But I think he has an opportunity to prove some of that a little bit wrong, man. I think he can come out, execute a little bit, make a few plays. I think last year it was just a lot, man. It was just a lot. But like you said, the head coach has proven he can get the job done. So I think he can. I think Julian will come in this season and progress. Uh, be a little bit better, man. Be a little bit more on time. A little bit more of the quarterback they need with that offense he has.
Yeah, I expect Julian Sain to take a jump this year, honestly. But if he doesn't, Ohio State does have Tavian St. Clair sitting behind him, who was one of the top quarterbacks in his class. And I mean, a lot of the other guys that he was competing against at the Elite 11, they're getting playing time this year. So um, if Sain doesn't work out, they definitely have a fallback option.
Yeah, but do you really think they're gonna like they're gonna like I can't see them saying out, pulling them out of games and playing a younger quarterback. I don't know. I don't see that happening to me unless he's playing at like a really low level, which I don't think he's going to play at a low level. I just think that like he's going to be more consistent than last year was his first year starting, so I'm gonna give him some of me slack for that. But I don't know if I see him making this tremendous jump though. He's got the skilled players around him, got the offensive line to do that, but I don't know. Like, I just don't see it.
Who do you think has? Well, this is for everybody. Who do you guys think has the best quarterback in the conference right now? You have a lot of good quarterbacks in the conference.
I think my favorite I would want to watch would be Dante Moore. He's a guy that I kind of had my eyes on for a little while now, and I'm really interested in his progress. And I like the way he plays football too. So for me, it'll be Dante Moore.
So we're just talking about talent, or like, or are we talking about like the whole thing, like talent and in the on-field production?
I mean, let's just talk about guys that are potential 2027 or 2028 first round picks or second round picks. Like guys that, legit quarterbacks in the conference.
I mean, if you're gonna say it like that, then I gotta agree with Pop. I think Dante is the most talented quarterback. My issue with Dante is just when he gets under pressure, and kind of the same with saying last year, like when he got under pressure too, he wasn't, like he didn't perform the way fans of that school wanted him to perform. But like if we're just saying talent, I think Dante, you got to say he's the most talented quarterback in the conference. But also like Jaden Maava and in the Josh Hoover as well. I like those four guys, but I'd probably side with Dante.
Well, since everybody else took Dante, I'm still gonna stick with my guy from Maryland, man. I think to me this year, watching him is gonna be a sight to see. We're gonna have an opportunity to see him play a little bit better than he did last year, and I think he's very exciting. A lot of explosive plays. He has all the requisite pieces, man, for Sundays, and I think if he can tap into some of that extra potential, we could be looking at a show this year, man, where Maryland could be putting up some good numbers, man, and some interesting games.
Yeah, I do think Dante Moore is probably the answer to the initial questions, but I'm gonna go a different direction. I'm gonna give you just Mayava, man. Mayava 6'4", 230, Lincoln Riley quarterback. I could see him really taking a leap this year and not putting himself in the conversation for being the best quarterback in the conference, because I think we all agree for the most part that is Dante, but just another one of those guys that's in the conversation to go maybe a little earlier than anticipated in this upcoming draft.
But I also think if Dante has the kind of year that people think he's going to have, he could easily cement himself as the number one pick in the draft. Though I could definitely say that.
Oh yeah, I agree. There any other prospects you guys like out of this conference for this upcoming draft?
I mean, you got to say Jeremiah Smith. I mean, I think everybody is, gonna say that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, man, there's a lot of good wide receivers in this conference.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeremiah is one to be excited about, but Charlie, who's on the screen right now, like Charlie Becker, I think he's really good too. I think he's a little underrated, honestly. But his teammate March is another one. Like I think they have two potential first round picks at wide receiver.
And you think
in
Becker's
this upcoming draft? Like I'll put it this way: because everybody can't go in the first, I think both of them will go in the top 3 rounds this next coming draft.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I think if Nick Marsh has the kind of year that people think he's going to have, he's definitely going in the first. Becker, like I really like Becker, but I see him more as like an early to mid second round pick. I mean, and this is barring that he has a crazy. If now he has a crazy season, then that's something different. But I mean, like Indiana though, like even though I said all I said, I mean, like they still got a lot of first round talent. Like I mean, like even they're like tackle like Carter Smith. Like people are saying that he might project to be a first round offensive tackle as well. So you got to throw him in there as well. So I mean, but this 27 draft is loaded, man. Not even just in the big, but in a lot of these conferences, a lot of these kids that have the ability to come out. I mean, like there's a lot of guys, and so like whether you're picking at the top of the first round or the end of the first round, I mean, most likely you're gonna find a really good player.
Yeah, I think we're in an interesting draft, man, and it's gonna be fun to see how it plays out throughout the season. As we highlight some of these players, man, and go through and kind of point out some of these prospects that's rising and falling on big boards and things of that nature. I think you didn't ask the question, Dre, but I think the person I'm least likely excited to watch is the quarterback for UCLA.
Man, hold on. Don't do Nico like that. Because Nico is just a few years removed from being the $8 million man for Tennessee.
I wasn't really excited to see him play for Tennessee, though.
Oh, man, really? I thought he was the best quarterback coming out of that class.
I thought he was
coming out.
I thought I don't know, maybe I had a bad taste in my mouth from the last quarterback that was but neither here nor there. I don't know. When I seen Nico, it just to me it feel like that factor that I'm looking for in the quarterback sometimes is missing. I don't know how to really explain it, but I don't know. I just don't really enjoy watching him play football. I didn't enjoy it then, and I don't think I'm gonna enjoy it on UCLA either.
Yeah, I don't know. Like watching the 1 year he did play at Tennessee, I wasn't impressed. Like, and I mean, for him, there was a lot of hype coming out of high school. I mean, and he was one of the top recruits coming out of high school. But just watching him, I was just like, I don't know. I don't know.
What Tennessee quarterback? Which one impresses you? Any of them?
I mean, the only person you could say that was Peyton. That's it. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, I was 2 years old when Peyton was in college. Hell, I might have been one. Like,
yeah, but yeah, you just asked me. I mean, like, Peyton was good, but even Peyton didn't win a natty. The year after Peyton left, that's when they won their natty with what's my homeboy name? T. Yeah,
T. Martin.
Yeah. So it's like they don't have a history of that. But I'm just speaking from a recruiting. Like I was hearing all these good things about Nico, and then I started watching his, him play the 1 year he did play there, and I'm just like, I mean, like the kid got a lot to work on his game, and I mean a lot. And I just haven't seen him progress really. So that's just, I mean, I'm kind of with Smitty on that. Like, I'm not that excited to see Nico at all. And honestly, I don't really aim to watch a lot of UCLA football anyway. So,
I think UCLA could be an improved team.
I mean, but I could be wrong. I mean, UCLA could turn around and win 6-7 games, and I'd be, or even 8, and I'd be shocked.
I had a look. If they kept the OC, if they kept that OC, my God, I don't know, man. The UCLA, they spent some money.
Yeah, but to me, like they're like,
yeah, but that money hasn't amounted to anything.
Nah, I'm saying they started spending some money now, though. They spending.
And the other thing is like they're second fiddle in that city, man. That's, I mean, that's a USC city, bro, when it comes to college football. So, and I mean, those that don't know, they're both in LA. So, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, like you said, I mean, if the coach is a good coach, and I mean, he can coach them up. I mean, like you never know what can happen.
Yeah, anything has happened. I mean, it's football, so I mean, obviously, you got a propensity for anything to happen any given Saturday. But
I'm not betting on it though.
Nope. If you ask me today, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling you now. I don't believe in Nico, man, and that could be half of my reason for being a little bit hesitant to buy into what they believe he's gonna be out there, but I just don't believe in what I've seen already.
But I have a question. When we're talking about the Big Ten. So the Big Ten has been on a run of winning national championships. They won the last three. Do y'all anticipate that they're going to win a fourth national championship in a row?
I think it's very well possible.
I I think it's possible as well. Um, one of the three teams that we talked about in tier one today definitely I think have the goods to get it done.
Um, I would hope they wouldn't get a fourth one, but Jesus Christ, it seems like they might, bruh. I mean, I would like to see them stop winning, but I mean, it seems like obviously we've had another conference kind of go on that same run before, so it wouldn't be shocking to me to see the Big Ten cement themselves as one of those power conferences that's to be respected going forward.
So I'll answer my own question here. I think that one of these teams is going to make a deep run, and I hate to say what I'm going to say because I've heard a lot of people say this, but Miami got a good shot to win the Natty. Like, and I really don't love their fans, man, because it's like it's always is Miami back, but Miami made the Natty last year, so they got a really talented team. So they might be able to make it happen. So but let me make something clear right now. I'm not picking Miami to win, but I think that's a team that has the ability to win the Natty.
Over my dead corpse. What? They're not winning nothing. The tropical depression will never win anything. You hear me? Their days are over with.
Hey, nah, man. Shout out to the U, man. I am a Miami sympathizer. I support the University of Miami. Shout out Jeremy Shockey. Shout out all the great players they put out the year. And
Wow.
shout out my newest player out of the U, Francis. Shout out Francis, man. Yeah.
Here we go. Good brother. He had to bring in.
Somehow, some way, it always leads back to the Giants or Alabama.
Jesus Christ. Can we get a break?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, when Alabama is never mind. We haven't covered the SEC yet.
We played this year again.
No, but I do agree with Jay Nick's sentiments about Miami. I do kind of have them being title contenders as well. I think they have a good chance to run it back this year, and we'll see.
I mean, one would argue they have a better, well, I don't say a better quarterback, but they have a quarterback that has more talent. Had that, well, in terms of arm talent.
No, you could say he's better. He won a conference last year, J Mick.
Just because you won the conference don't mean you're better. I mean, he won the conference and didn't make the college football playoff.
No, I was joking, but there's an argument to be made that Darian Memphis for sure. What? No, I do think
he has better arm talent. Like down the field, his arm talent is definitely better than Beck. I mean, I'm not going to argue
he's
that.
more mobile, also.
Yeah. So I mean, like you can argue that they got the person that have a quarterback this year is better, and then some of their wide receivers that were freshmen last year are coming into their own as sophomores. I mean, like I said, like Miami got a good chance, man. Like as long as they don't screw it up in the season and lose games like they did last year, they ain't supposed to lose. I mean, I think they got a shot.
Over my dead body.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I know it's something you ain't trying to see, but you almost saw it last year.
And I went all in on Indiana on that ticket. You hear me? You hear me? Everything I had left on my betting app went towards Indiana winning a national championship.
That's not gonna help you this year. That's not gonna help you this year. With Malachi Tony and Darian Mensah,
you see the difference last year, right? Who won the national championship last year, Dre? Who won the national championship? Who won the national championship last year?
So you gotta see the
my
U
money
this year
looking real
too.
good. My betting app
You
still
gonna
looks
lose to the U and the Alabama this year. Oh man,
I'm never gonna lose to Alabama. You hear me?
You gonna put a friendly wager on that?
I smacked you last year. You told me I was gonna
Hold on. The loser has to sing
I don't have a
the
I don't have a
winners.
starting quarterback yet. Wait, you gotta give me a second.
No, you got to start a quarterback.
No. They haven't announced my
All right,
starter
we
yet.
come back. We'll come back to this in August, early August. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we gotta announce
Or
my
maybe next episode, man. Ain't
because
the next episode the U episode? I mean, excuse me, the ACC. Might as well be
Yes,
called the U. That's their conference.
could you tell me the last time the U won it?
It doesn't matter. They run that conference.
When was the
Only
last time
respectable
they won it?
program. Well, you
When
know
was the
what? I'm
last
I'm
time?
lying. You got VTech over there. I respect VTech. Yeah, I
When was
respect
the
them.
last time they won? I just wondering.
I
I
mean, but
respect
for the view,
SMU.
but for the viewers, our Wednesday show, we will be talking about the ACC and
Uh,
the
I,
and the 4 tiers of the ACC. So
Can you tell me when the slight chance of rain won the conference last, please?
I
and
don't think
also them bums that like to call themselves independent. No, I'm lying. Notre Dame is a respectable program, but they will be added to the ACC because they don't want to join the conference. They're too scared to play real competition. So,
Only in
we got to add
football,
them
though.
somewhere.
It's trash. I think that's
Right.
something we got to talk about, bro.
well, yeah, I mean, we have plenty of
They
time to
want
talk
to
about.
they want to benefit they want to benefit off all the other sports being a part of a conference, but then when it comes to football, you want to keep you want to be independent. Man, get
Well, I
out.
I
mean,
don't truly
NCAA
have an
made a
issue with
rule
it.
change in their favor, so I mean, I don't honestly like if they're not force you to do it. I don't blame them.
Well, look, that sounds like the perfect time. Unless y'all want it, we can get into it right now. If y'all want to, let's go.
No, I mean, we can say that for Wednesday. I mean, since we're considering them to be part of the ACC,
I mean, every other sport they got is a part of ACC, but football.
yeah. Well, but to go back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the show with the ACC, with the NCAA, like they changed a rule, to benefit one school, which is Notre Dame, in terms of, they're like finishing in terms of the rankings to guarantee them a spot. So, I mean, if the NCAA gonna bend rules for a school, then the school gonna be like, well, we don't need to join a conference. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they're not making it hard for them not to join. I mean,
Exactly.
it's nothing holding them back from being independent. I mean, they still get the same benefits as everybody else, except for they can't get uh, the buy. But
Well, I mean, they actually get more benefits now. I mean, since they made the rule change.
Well, they got one of the Heisman front runners at quarterback over there at Notre Dame. And if you ask me today, if they were going to make the playoffs, my response to you would be: does Marcus Freeman use Beijing?
Wait, hold
uh,
on.
Think about that,
Hold
and
on.
whatever your answer to that question is, there you go.
Wait, hold on. Miami has never won the ACC.
oh,
Nah, never, never,
man, oh,
never,
I'm
ever, never.
crying,
oh,
bro. I just looked that up. I kept scrolling. I said, this can't be right.
And you've never been in like an ACC space where it's not just Miami fans, and that's the one thing that they can't combat. They've been in that conference since 2002, and they've never won it.
That's all good, right? But the U back. Mark
back from
Fletcher,
what? Back
Darian
from what?
Mensah,
What they back
Malachi.
to?
Like, we got some dogs over at the U.
What
We
are they
got,
back to? What are
come
they
on,
back to?
man.
What are they back
We
to?
got Jason Taylor over. Come on, man.
Can you
Jason Taylor
explain to me?
coaching up
Can
the
you
D
explain to
linemen.
me what they're back to? What has
We back,
transpired?
man. We back to being the standard of the ACC, the
What do you
standard of the Florida.
Standard. So the
mean?
You know
standard
what?
is never.
Wait.
We
Hold on,
back
hold
to
on. So
being
the
the
standard.
standard for the state of Florida.
Wait. So
That
the
is what the
standard
U
is
is back
never
to
And
being,
winning
a
your
you
standard
division.
for the
missed it
whole
though.
damn
So your
state.
He said
standard is
That's
we.
what
never
they
winning
are.
your
He
division.
said
Check.
we like
I
he
got
a
it.
Standard.
Miami
I
fan or
got it.
something.
Need a
I got
standard
it.
of the damn state. That's what they. I
So
told you
hold
I'm a
on,
And
hold
you
on,
a
Miami
hold
Miami
on,
fan
sympathizer.
hold
now?
on, hold on, hold on,
Because
hold on.
A
you
Miami
So the
sympathizer, Dre.
standard
Not a
is
not a fan.
never.
A sympathizer.
So,
Miami
so
sympathizer is insane.
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
clearly
yeah.
said we
Miami
like you a
sympathizer,
part of the family.
jellyfish
but hold
enthusiast.
on. So the standard is
I got
never
some more
winning
coming for y'all, but
your conference. That's the standard. That's the standard we're living up. Okay, cool. Understood. I didn't know that
I'm
was a
just
new
saying, when I
standard.
Norvell
was
Norvell could never be
scrolling,
Cristobal. Never.
the I was just saying there was a
He
lot
could
of
never be
Florida State
Mario.
and Clemson in them conference winners, bro. Like that's
Uh,
crazy.
That's cool, but
The standard is never winning
Mike
your own division.
Norvell, he could never be Mario.
What has Mario done?
be a better head coach than Mike Norvell.
I mean, he finally came through with his promise of taking the U to a chip. I mean, they didn't win it, but he finally fulfilled that
You
promise,
know,
I guess.
you know the difference is between Mike Norvell and Mario Cristobal. They find a way to get Mario's teams in the playoffs. They leave Mike Norvell's teams out of it.
Well, I'm gonna leave it alone.
He got in and still lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he went all the way to the door and said, "You're not gonna let me in." They said no.
Ain't no shame in losing to the national champions. It's not like niggas. I mean, that's not like teams lost to Ole Miss. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right?
I know that's not a
Playoffs
shot at
losing to
me.
Ole
That's
Miss.
I mean, it's funny that you.
Well, you would have to be in the playoffs for me to take a shot at you about the
I
playoffs.
mean, but it's funny you talking about
what happened to you in the playoffs, Trey?
I made the
couldn't even
playoffs.
score
I
a
won a
touchdown.
playoff game.
That's
I
what
won
happened.
a playoff game. That's
And
what
then
happened.
who did you get embarrassed by? Who did you get a mud?
Oh yeah, no, the national champions, best team in the nation.
And you put up a collection of
No
3
shame in
points.
that.
You couldn't even score a touchdown in that game.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. We was both on the couch watching them play in that national championship,
except
right?
that when my team lost, we was putting up
But
points.
but
We
you know, I gotta
just put
correct
up 3.
myself. I wasn't on the couch. I was only halfway on the couch because I'm a Miami sympathizer. So that part of me was still alive. Amen.
It's crazy. It's crazy that the other ACC fan up here, he quiet right now. Like,
so, I mean, but it's funny, like you was a sympathizer, but so I mean, so your original team lost, and the team you sympathize lost. So like you a double loser.
Man,
that's crazy.
You took
we
2
both
L's.
losers then.
I mean, you took 2 L's in the college.
Both losers, amen.
Yeah, but the difference is like I'm what you call a single loser. Like,
you know what's crazy? No, because I actually won a playoff game. When's the last time you did that, J-Man?
When's the last time you won a natty?
Oh
yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Or 2 years before you did, excuse me.
Yeah, and you ain't won a natty. See, the funny thing is, it's the 2020s, and you ain't won a natty.
That's cool. You ain't won a playoff game in 3 years, but
so,
we stay quiet about that one.
See, I mean, here's the difference, though. I've won.
You got to win a playoff game to win a natty. You got to win a game first before to win a natty.
To the natty in what 6, 7 years?
You got to win a playoff game to win a natty.
You can't win the natty unless you get there. And you ain't got
exactly. But you got to win playoff games first to get there. You see how that's counterproductive? At least I won a playoff game. When's the last time you did that?
I mean, like now you sound like a first place loser.
Oh wow.
Hey man, I'm just being realistic.
Man said at least I won it, and you still lost. You still didn't win nothing. You ain't won a natty in the 2020s. See, the 2020s, and I've won 2 natties. I won back-to-back natties.
That Ole Miss team.
That's the
y'all in the playoff. Y'all was laughing at them. Y'all was laughing at them because that scumbag that people like to call the head coach over there in Baton Rouge left that program right before the playoffs started. Everybody was laughing at him. They counted him out. And Trinidad and the rest of that team, they came out and they did the unthinkable. They beat the Bulldogs in the playoffs.
And then I love how you like talking about my team, but you don't ever want to talk about SEC championship game when your team ran for a total of -3 yards against my team.
It was an embarrassing effort
against my
embarrassing
team.
effort.
You didn't score a touchdown to almost the 4th quarter.
Embarrassing effort. You know when else I didn't score a touchdown? In the second half of the game when I came into your house and beat you, and that was the
first in a regular season
lost
game.
The home game in 30.
I mean, but the game that really counted in the SEC championship game, you could not.
Both of them counted. No, well, really, that game didn't count because both teams made the playoffs either way. That game did not count.
There's no way that you're going to tell me
how did that game count, J-Man?
Not a more important game.
How did that game count? We were both in the playoffs already, so how did that game really count?
You almost didn't make the playoffs. You almost didn't make it.
They said we weren't going to leave us out.
They almost did.
Nah.
I mean,
they had been saying that if it came down to it, Notre Dame would be the team that was left out.
They was considering leaving y'all out. Like, trust me. I mean, I was in the college. I was in y'all spaces.
They weren't leaving them
after
out.
that game.
Saying it
y'all had fans that scared y'all weren't going to make the playoffs.
No, those were fans that were overreacting. You can't be the number 1 team in the conference in the standings going into that game and then miss the playoffs because you played an extra game.
Okay.
That was never going to happen, which is exactly what the committee kept saying repeatedly.
There was a
And they
series
kept
debate
telling
if
you,
your school was
and
going to make the
everybody
playoffs.
else that wanted to be shocked about Miami getting in the playoffs over Notre Dame, the committee told everybody that that would happen for weeks, and somehow nobody listened, and everybody was shocked
And you
when it
can
happened.
act like it wasn't close. It was close to y'all not making that playoff.
No, it wasn't. Once they put us in front of Notre Dame, it was over with, and they did that before the SEC championship.
There was serious talks after them championship games on freaking Saturday that y'all might not make it.
They would have burned down the college football playoff if Alabama did not make that. I guarantee.
Alabama's not made the playoff before. I mean, y'all don't make it
last
every
year would
year.
have been different.
Y'all don't make it every year.
Yeah, and still we have a more recent playoff win.
We have more recent natties than you, 2 of them, actually.
That's cute.
Wow.
Get another 4 of them.
I mean, and you over here talking about a
In your
single
lifetime.
playoff win. And
like what you see with the Patriots, that's what I see with Bama.
man, I know you don't want to go to the NFL.
This don't like.
I know you don't want to go to the NFL. Like I know you don't want to do that.
What I'm saying is, I know.
I mean, you have one playoff win since your last.
That's
One.
cool.
Since
How many
2011.
playoff wins you got since your last natty, J Mick? Checkmate.
No, it's not a checkmate because you don't have any natties in this decade. It's not a checkmate. Check fraud.
Oh, you said how many? You said I got one playoff win since my last, right? How many you got since your
And
last?
you brought it to the NFL. Since the Giants won their last title in 2011, you have one playoff win.
Yeah, and that's what it is for Georgia since the last time y'all won a natty. How many playoff games have you won, J Mick?
In one run last year.
Can you answer the question? How many playoff wins have you won since the last time you won a natty?
And person like mine,
how many have you won since the last time you won a natty?
Last won a Super Bowl.
You don't make the playoffs every year
won 3
either, right?
Super
I
Bowls.
kept you out that Saban's last year. We kept you out of the playoffs. Then you lost to Notre Dame after that, and then you spent this last year losing to Ole Miss in the playoffs, right? That's what you've done since you won a natty, right? So you've done nothing but underperform since you've won a natty the same way. That's interesting, huh?
14, 16, and 18 combined. So I mean, what you're talking now is jibber jabber. Like the Giants have not been good. Really have not been good for a long time. My team has.
Georgia hasn't won a playoff game.
Georgia's won 2 natties since you've seen the national championship game.
That's cool. I've won 6 in that. And
you over here talking about your last win. See, this is the funny part about you and Bama. Like, y'all got such a rich history, and you over here pointing out one singular playoff win. That's it.
I'm only claiming things that I've actually seen in my lifetime. That's why I said 6 for me, right?
No. My whole point is that your program is not where it used to be. Y'all used to talk about natties. Now you're talking about one playoff win.
College football is no longer what it used to be.
I mean, that's in your opinion. I mean, but that's probably because y'all ain't been winning.
Is that opinion, or I mean,
somebody
can you
chewing
point
on
to
their
anything
microphone?
that's the same as it used to be?
It sounds like somebody chewing on their microphone.
And I just enjoyed the days when Bama fans could point to their natties and say, recently, we won more natties than you. I mean, now they can't do that recently in this particular.
Oh no, I definitely could still say that because I've won more natties than you.
Not in this decade, you ain't.
Oh, cool.
I mean, would you like to point
when the Chiefs fans say that same thing to you, keep that same energy, good brother.
Chiefs can't say nothing to me.
Oh no, they definitely can.
The Chiefs ain't never beat me in the playoffs. They can't tell me nothing.
That don't matter.
What you mean? The Chiefs are the franchise is 0-2 against me. They can't tell me.
In the last 3 years, who kept
matter.
you out of the playoffs? Who kept you out of the playoffs the one year you didn't make the playoffs, J-Mick?
What are you talking about?
Who kept you out the year you didn't make the playoffs? In the last 3 years, there was 1 year you didn't make the playoffs, correct? Who kept you out of the playoffs?
If you're talking about the NFL, the Chiefs have not kept me out the playoffs.
No. I went back to college. See, in college, who's kept you out of the playoffs in the last 3 years?
I mean, Bama did it one time. And what did you do with that?
What did you do with it?
Nothing.
I lost the
playoff game. Yeah, I lost the because if I'm not mistaken, I mean, Texas took you out.
Huh?
And the Texas fans love to bring that up, how they retired
Texas didn't retire the coach. We actually still proceeded to go on to the playoffs.
And then who beat you in the playoff?
Not Texas.
If I could interject
Oh,
for a
Texas
second.
played
maybe
against
it was
Washington. We
Michigan.
played
I mean,
against
like,
Michigan.
well, so that's where I got confused.
Okay.
Michigan fans are the fans that said like they retired your coach.
I mean,
Mm.
Michigan fans say a lot when the day is long. They also say they didn't cheat. You believe them?
I mean, did Saban coach after that?
No.
Mm.
Saban was also old.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's what they say. I mean, and you got to take that up with them.
No, I mean they can say what they want to say. Anybody is entitled to say what they want to say.
So, Smitty, I heard Andre say that they can't beat Cristobal. They are actually 2-2 versus Cristobal. They won the first two. He won the last two. So he just got the 500 versus Florida State. And to what you were saying, J Mick, it's hard for the Giants to. I forgot exactly what it was. They don't usually make the playoffs after the win in the Super Bowl. On average, it takes them about 5 years to get back to the playoffs after making the Super Bowl. They did make it to the playoffs one time as the one seed and got embarrassed in the divisional round. Their only time making it back to the playoffs the year after winning the Super Bowl. So I just wanted to give you that information.
I mean, to me, the league is better when the Giants make the playoffs, man. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Like I don't even.
The Giants.
Yeah, it's New York City, man. Because like we know the Jets ain't making the playoffs. So,
Nobody thinking about no damn Giants.
so the Jets ain't making the playoffs, man. So they got to go to the Giants. I'm not gonna disparage the Giants all the way because I think the Giants got a good chance to make the playoffs this year. Now,
That New York City stuff only matters in basketball and football. Nobody cares about the Giants in football. Nobody.
Yeah.
The
You said
only
we don't
the
make
only
playoffs back-to-back years. I don't want to misrepresent what you said. So
no, I
I'm
said you
asking
don't
for
make the
clarity.
playoffs after winning the Super Bowl. It takes you on average 5 years to get back to the get back to the playoffs. You've made it to
Okay.
the playoffs one time after winning the Super Bowl.
What's the average on how long it's taking you to win another Super Bowl?
I don't know. It's an average that has me more than you, so I'm cool.
I just said we both in the losers bucket, good brother. You ain't did shit though, but you ain't did nothing in 30 years.
Well, you
Excuse
know
me.
what? If we're in the losers buggy, you're sitting in the back seat.
I guess we'll see.
You're sitting in economy.
You better
So
hope Christian McCaffrey taking less snaps this year works
okay,
out for you, buddy.
okay, and you better hope that you get another top five pick because you are a top five picker.
Would you like to put a wager on that?
A wager on what? You getting another top five pick?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Let's talk. Let's
Why
rehash
not
this.
now? Since you
What you mean? Why
so
not now?
well, I mean, since you so sure we're
What?
gonna be a top five picker, why not make
Well, I was
somebody
about to
like
tell
you?
you why not now. I was about to tell you. You, you gonna let me tell you? Okay, good talk.
I'm quiet, giving you the floor.
Okay. I don't understand silence. I understand answers. That's what adults do.
I was yielding the floor for you to respond. If you can't understand that, that's your own problem, good brother.
Well, I don't. I've never known silence to be an answer to a question. So I don't know what y'all do in Germany, but in America, questions are followed with answers, not silence, unless you don't have anything to say.
So you said are you going to let me speak? And my response to that was silence, giving you the floor, and that's not allowing you to speak.
No,
And we could be dense in the conversation if you want.
I didn't ask you to allow me to speak. I asked you a question.
You asked, "Are you going to let me speak?"
No, I asked, are you going to let me tell you why we should wait? That was the question. But
Okay, is that
you
not
don't you
so?
don't listen. You
You
spend too much
realize
time
there's
talking
a
instead of
delay.
listening.
You realize there's a delay when we're live speaking to each other. So at times
Well, whose fault
you
is
don't
that?
hear everything at the
Tell me
same
whose
time.
fault is that? Point them out. Point them out.
If there's a
Whose fault
delay,
is that?
there's a delay.
Whose fault is that? That you got a delay. Point them out.
We all have a delay, certified.
I don't have a delay. I'm always on time, like
Yeah.
Ashanti.
Yeah, man, son is funny, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my god, man, this man is crazy.
Oh, that was funny. I mean, and you gotta laugh at that, Dre. That was funny, man. Uh,
Bruh.
nah, but I think the question is like to either party, like, why do you think the team is or is not going to be picking in the top five? I think that's the question.
Yeah. Oh,
Why not?
I mean, we'll look at the roster. Why wouldn't
Go
they
ahead.
be picking in the top five? And also, it's not just that. Look at the division. They're just slightly above the Commanders. And looking at the Commanders roster, it's nothing to really talk about. They're nowhere close to Dallas. They're nowhere close to Philly. They have a hard schedule. Where's the talent for them to compete? I don't see it.
Dre, I think it's on you now. Why do you think your team won't be picking there?
Mm.
How many times has Harbaugh picked top 5 in his career?
I don't remember any, but he's also not with the same franchise
He
though.
picked one time top 5 in his career. He's been a head
Okay.
coach in the NFL for how long?
That's a good amount of time because he spent all his time with the
This is
Ravens.
19 years an NFL head coach. The history of
19.
having Harbaugh as your head
Mhm.
coach tells me more than likely you're not picking in the top 5. So until I see that a Harbaugh coach team, because I actually think coaching matters a lot more than just the talent. Like you can have all the talent in the world. If you don't have a coach to coach that talent, you're not going anywhere. So I do think that having a coach that a third of the league was willing and trying to hire this past offseason definitely raises the floor for the franchise.
But I mean, couldn't one also? And I'm just gonna, like just make an argument. Couldn't one also make an argument that he spent all that time with one franchise, which is the Ravens, which historically draft pretty well, and now he's moving on to a new franchise. Well, I'm not saying don't draft well, but it's a whole new franchise, a whole new situation. So I mean, what would you say to that?
You could say it's definitely a new situation. My response to that would be: do you think we have a bad roster right now? Because if you think we have a bad roster, then I understand why you think we're pegging in the top 5. I tend to disagree with that if you think we have a bad roster, but
so
everybody is to their own opinion.
What I would say is that I think you have talent on the defense, but over the last couple of years you've had the talent, but the defense has not performed. So you've got to look at who the DC was, and you got to hope that your new DC is able to coach up the talent, and the talent could mesh together and play better. I think that's one of your main problems was last year was the defense.
How do you feel about Denard Wilson and his time with the Titans? Because I think he was a good defensive coordinator. He had a top 10 defense in year 1, number 2 in the league, I think it was. And year 2, it fell off some. But if you actually look at why that was part of it was also, yes, they gave up more. Part of it was also they had a lot of short fields to defend, and we know what that does when you have a lot of short fields. Short fields don't create advantageous situations for your defense, and it's going to affect how your defense plays throughout the year. So I think Denard Wilson is a good defensive coordinator, and I think his defensive scheme will work with the talent we have. But there's only one way to see, and that's to watch the game.
So I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say I think you got the talent. I think the DC is better than the DC that you had last year because I think the DC last year was terrible. Now you just gotta, my only issue with the Giants defense is the secondary. I don't think it's as talented as the front seven, but I mean, sometimes when it comes to the secondary, it's not all about talent, but it's how they play as a unit. So, just to conclude on what I'm saying is that if your defense plays better, the team will be better. But if it plays a lot like it did last year, your team will have an issue.
To be clear, our defense playing like it did last year in stretches means historically bad because we had historically bad stretches at times.
You was bad 2024 as well.
Our offense wasn't the issue last year. If you look at it for the most part, our defense fell apart down the stretch of games. Against the Broncos, I mean, giving up 33, 34 in a quarter. You can't do that. Not in the NFL. There was a reason why Shane Bowen was fired, and also after he was fired, our defense did get better. Now it's a small sample size because it's only a few weeks, but the defense did start to improve. To your point about the secondary, I think when you look at our secondary, I agree. We don't have like a bunch of superstar talent in the secondary, but to your point about the guys working together, if you look at Denard Wilson's scheme, it's gonna be a lot of cover for man match type of stuff, physical guys at the line. I think we have guys that fit that profile. And because of the front seven we have and what Denard is gonna want to do up front, the looks he's gonna present, I think that'll also help the secondary kind of be a little bit better. I'm not saying they're going to be super elite, but I think if your front seven is good enough, I don't think the back end has to be super elite, honestly.
Uh-huh. His defense was bad 2024 as well.
Certified? You got a response?
Yeah, his J Mick, his defense was bad in 2024 as well. Yeah, I know. Sexy Dexy, um, the Bengals great. Had a pretty decent start of his season, but overall, they were at the bottom of the league in every statistical category that season too. So it wasn't just 2025.
How long did we have Shane Bowen as our defense coordinator certified?
I don't know. I don't keep up with the Giants
Well,
like
maybe
that.
you should go do the research.
I
When
don't
you
want
bring
to
up the
look. I
point
don't want
about
to
a
do the
guy that I
research.
just was talking about, Shane
Okay.
Bowen was terrible. I'll
Okay.
give you that. Yes,
And
he's
who
a
hired him?
terrible defense coordinator.
Did the league?
Brian Dayball hired him.
So
That's who
Hmm.
so
hired
hold
him,
on,
and
hold on,
that's
hold on.
why
I
he's
gotta
no longer a head coach anymore.
can I clarify something real quick? So bad
Clear fire.
coordinator that produces bad product is an
Same thing as
excuse
Patullo.
for
It's
bad
not an excuse,
performance.
but it does matter. Yes, bad coaching matters.
Bad coaching
When you
matters.
talk
Okay.
about football, like, does
Mm-hmm.
coaching not matter?
Mm-hmm. It does.
I was just trying to clarify. I was just trying to clarify. Just trying to clarify.
No, I think people acknowledge though that Patullo's offense also wasn't good last year. There's
Was
a
it?
reason why he's no longer your offensive coordinator.
That's the main reason, or the
Well,
only reason?
I mean, they also fired the coach. I mean, whenever you fire a coach, I mean, it's customary that when you bring in a new coach, he brings his own guys, anyways. But my only concern is that your offensive coordinator is Nagy, and I don't. I just. I mean, the way I
That's
hear Chief fans be dogging Nagy, it's not like I don't know if that's a good. I don't know if it's a good thing saying that that's your offensive coordinator. But
With an inferior
we
quarterback.
have
I
we
mean, time
have
will
too
tell
many
though.
cooks in the kitchen, and that could end up being an issue on the offensive side of the ball. You have Callahan, who I mean, he's the quarterback's coach, but he's also the passing game coordinator, so he's going to be involved. You have Greg Roman, who's the run game coordinator. He's obviously going to be involved too, and then you have Matt Nagy. So, how do those guys work together? Are they able to work together to make that work? And then it still
Mm,
comes down to Matt Nagy and his feel for calling the game because we haven't really seen Matt Nagy as just strictly an OC. Like, I'm talking about being an OC that's like a full time play caller. It's not to
oh.
say he hasn't called plays at times, but the last time we saw Matt Nagy be a full time play caller, he was
Mm,
also a head coach at the same time.
mm.
So I don't know. Could it work? Yes. Could it go wrong? Yes. Those are things we have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean,
My eye on
that's
at
fair.
least the offensive side of the ball for the Giants is on that wide receiver core. Um, with Wandale leaving, I have some questions on how you guys are gonna address that. Um, yeah, so I'm really looking at this wide receiver core. Like it lacks depth to me. I think it has some hindrance in regards to talent as well. Um, and that's something I need to see how that plays out, especially with neighbors going to be able to come back from that injury he had earlier in the year last season. I want to see who's going to become the two, the three, the four, who's really
You
going to
think
develop into
Darnell
that.
Mooney could fill one of those roles?
I
Ooh.
mean,
Man,
possibly. I
man,
think
Mooney
possibly,
be
but
dropping
I
the ball
don't.
too much from there.
Yeah, not only that, I think he's kind of inconsistent in his effort as well. I mean, if he can feel that, cool, but I don't think that's a long-term solution for y'all. I think you're looking at a couple of the young guys you guys brought in to kind of fill that. Um
No, ideally, yes, long term, but in the short term, I don't.
yeah, I think
Darnell
Mooney,
Mooney wasn't
yeah.
brought in to be a long term option. I agree with you, but in the short
Mm,
term, no, I think he's a good option. I mean, he does have some familiarity with Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy was his coach at one point with the
yeah,
Bears.
with the Bears, yeah.
He had some success there. He's just this upcoming season, I guess you can say 2 years removed now from almost another 1,000 yard season. So could he? I'm not asking to have be 1,000 yard receiver for the Giants, but could he be productive in a
Nah.
2 or 3 role? I definitely think he could.
I think
But to
I
your
think
point,
he
Malik
can give you
Neighbors
like,
matters his injury.
yeah, I think he can give you like maybe 700 to 800 yards, right? And that's good coming from your three, right? That's
Yeah,
good. If you
yeah,
can
but
get 8 to 9 from your two, that's good.
yeah, but the problem is that too was Darius Slayton. That's the problem.
And
How do you know the
yeah,
two isn't Isaiah Likely? Because
So,
he's a tight end, or
so
because
I'm talking about wide receivers. I'm not talking about tight ends. I'm talking about
yeah?
your
But
wide.
are we talking about within the offense or just within the wide receiver room? Because
I'm
within the
talking about the wide,
offense, your number two option can definitely be a tight
I'm
end.
definitely just talking about the wide
wide
receiver
receiver.
core.
Yeah,
Because if I brought in the tight ends, I ain't gonna lie.
and then I like
Shoot,
Likely a lot. Like I wanted to sign Likely to be honest. So I
yeah, like
so
I would definitely have
the
likely
tight ends
above
is
some of
not a problem.
these receivers. And then I
As
think you
far
guys
as the,
have Theo over there too.
yeah, Theo and I mean
Yeah,
Likely are like those are their two
yeah, that's
best
Theo.
receivers.
Yeah, so
Theo
I
just better
definitely
block.
have them.
I mean Theo
I
just need to catch the ball more. I
He
mean
better block. That boy better be a blocking tight end.
and
Extra
they got
tackle.
what's
he's
that
not.
other is that Bellinger over
Nah,
there
Now
he went
too?
to the
Bellinger
Titans.
is with the Titans
He went to
now.
the Titans.
They
Okay.
signed Chris Manhurts. I believe he came from Jacksonville. I want to
No,
say.
man
Quick,
hurts.
quick,
Well,
quick
I don't.
second. Quick
I'm pretty
second.
sure
Some
he was on
breaking
the
news, real
Carolina.
quick, on the sports front. James Harden was arrested a few hours ago, and he was charged with unlawful possession of a firearm.
Really, I didn't see that.
My
Really,
question is, where was he
Where?
when he got
it's
arrested?
probably in Texas. Probably that's where he like to hang out.
Yeah, but in Texas, unlawful possession of a firearm. I think that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
It's
unlikely.
that's what I'm
probably in
saying.
California.
Yeah,
California. Well,
he could have
well,
been.
I mean, he
you know
still played
what?
for Philly,
No,
right?
it went
What's
down
to
in
say he
Texas.
wasn't
It went down. He was arrested in Texas.
Yeah.
in
Hmm,
Texas
Let me
for
see if I
illegal?
can
that
read
doesn't make
this.
sense.
Let me see.
I mean, because I know
What
he
did
still
he
has like,
got going on?
and I know he spends a lot of time in Texas. Like ever since he played for
Maybe it
Columbus.
was
Oh, it
maybe it
no,
was
the
altered.
handgun. No, the handgun was out in the open inside of his car. It wasn't put up. It was just sitting
Yeah,
in
but I
plain
thought
sight.
Texas didn't have restrictions on firearms. Though I thought.
It has to
Oh,
be in the
open carry
holster.
in Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
It has to be in the holster, and it wasn't. And so it's just a misdemeanor, and he got released on bail.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure they
so
just
he's
hit him
all
up
right.
with like a gun safety class or something like that.
Yeah,
He'll be
yeah,
fine. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, depending on the state you in for those gun, I mean, like people that own guns, man, and you got to know the gun laws, man. You really do.
yeah. So it looks like the problem wasn't the fact that it was in plain sight. It was the fact that it wasn't in a holster, which is, I guess, a misdemeanor out there.
I mean,
So
he's lucky someone didn't break his window and like steal his gun or nothing like that. I mean, he really lucky someone didn't do that.
No.
But
I don't know about the likely thing because Andrews has missed a lot of games of as of late, and likely has it really didn't take advantage of that. So I don't see him just magically doing it somewhere else.
Okay, so I had to check. So like, Matt Hurts was with the Giants for the last 2 seasons, but he also played for Denver, Jacksonville, and Carolina. So that's probably what I remember a couple years back. I mean, but I know Manhurst is supposed to be a better. I thought he was supposed to be a better blocking tight end than Likely, and because like Theo and Likely aren't exactly your typical blocking tight ends. So But I mean, like that was Theo that's coming out of college out of Penn State. Like he wasn't the greatest blocker, so he's supposed to be a really good receiver, though.
Yeah.
What?
That's gonna conclude our episode of the Big Ten tiers breakdown. Obviously, we gave y'all all 18 teams. We covered every aspect of what you would like for the Big Ten, man. So far, upcoming on the next episode, they've already kind of told y'all and preluded to it, but the ACC will be next. So stay tuned. But Pop, get them the instructions, man.
Follow the Check Down YouTube page, like, comment, subscribe, hype if you can, share it out. Follow the Check Down Twitter page, join the Check Down Twitter community. Always remember to tell a friend, and we'll tap in with y'all next Saturday at 11:15 Eastern Standard Time.
Check. Check down. Check down. This the check down. We give it to you straight. This a check down. We really watch the tape. This a check down. We give it to you straight. This a check down. We really watch the tape. From the street to the game, we bring that flow. Analyze every move, feel the knowledge grow. In the lights of the city, where champions are made. 2 men to the moments in the praise kick.